Alright everybody, it's fig cutting season. If you look on FigBid or eBay, you're going to see a ton of new cuttings, some more expensive than others. And in this video, I want to show you how to maximize your success with rare, expensive cuttings by combining grafting with fig pops. So first off, start off with some good cuttings. Prepare your fig pop bags. Get some buddy tape and a sharp grafting knife. Now, usually I have a whole bunch of just figs in 1 gallons laying around, and you can use those as rootstock. Okay, so let's start by examining the cutting, right? Look for the ideal piece to graft from. So on this piece right here, this is an Olga cutting. I noticed that there's one node here at the bottom that I can cut off, and there should be plenty of wood to still use in my fig pop. Alright, now that that's cut, I actually prefer to use a simple cleft graft. It's easy. All you do is cut a wedge and then cut a slot to put that wedge into, and you're good to go. So here I'm kind of predetermining where I'm going to make my graft cuts, my wedge cuts, and I'm going to cheat here by starting this with my pruner. Now, if you're going to use a grafting knife to do these wedge cuts, I would recommend making sure it's super sharp. You could buy these AccuSharp knife sharpeners from Amazon. I think they're like $7 to $8 or something like that. Make sure it's sharp and make sure it's clean. And go slowly here. There is no reason to rush this, because you can take off a little amount of wood, but you can't take off a lot and recover. Now you're going to notice inside of the branch there's a little bit of a pith, a spongy area. Be careful with that, because that spongy area actually weakens that scion a little bit, so don't cut too deep. Alright. What I'm doing here is I'm whittling my shoulder down to more of a 90-degree angle versus too much of a wedge. That way you get a nice snug fit. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I've got my one node on there. That's where the new branching will come out of that scion if it takes, right? I'm looking at my rootstock. I'm not too happy about this piece that's sticking out. I don't want to graft onto that. I want to graft directly onto the straight trunk. Let's get rid of this thing. All right. So grafting directly onto the trunk is going to provide a little bit more support when that branch starts to grow. If it's coming off at an angle, sometimes it's a little wonky, and the weight of the new branch can break that graft union. Okay, so when I cut that slot down the rootstock, I do about 1.5 inches or so, or even 2 inches. Get that wedged in there, and that looks pretty solid. Don't worry if the scion and the rootstock are not the same caliber. Those two will eventually meld together, and it should be fine. Alright, let's take some buddy tape. Now I have to admit, I'm still kind of sucky actually at using buddy tape for grafting. I tear more than I would like to admit, but that's okay. I tend to go pretty heavy around the graft union because it provides additional support when that scion starts to take and grow. You can also use a piece of rubber band to provide some additional support around that graft union. Here I'm just using buddy tape to go double up, triple up, quadruple up on that piece. And also make sure that you wrap from the graft union all the way to the top of the scion. You don't want the scion to dry out. If that happens, your rate of success is going to be 0. Alright, I think that last piece should do it. I'm just going to make sure everything is stuck together well. And that looks good. Okay, now for the second half of this, you're going to take the remaining piece of fig cutting and just pop it into your fig pop bag. Now, if you're not familiar with this method, I have 3 videos on how to do a fig pop. It's really, really simple. The key factor here is to make sure your moisture level is low, okay? If you have too much moisture, your fig cutting is going to rot. Alrighty, let's wrap this up with a rubber band. And the beauty of this method here is I've essentially turned 2 cuttings into 4, right? Grafted 2, and the other 2 are going into fig pops, which is a pretty good method for me. I get pretty high success rate with using this. Alright guys, well, I hope you found this informative. Hopefully you can use this with your rare fig cuttings. Let's check out the graft union here. Alright, they look pretty good. What I'm going to do is just wrap these up in a bag and put them away. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.